I'm Joe Reed, and this is Behind the Mic with AudioFile magazine. Michele Cobb is my co-pilot for the week, and we are talking about audiobooks that have a theme of, take it away, Michele.
Discomfort. Today we're talking about When the World Tips Over by Jandy Nelson, read by Michael Crouch, Alex McKenna, Briggon Snow, Caitlin Kinnunen, and Julia Whalen.
Oh my God, what a cast.
Oh, it's a great cast. And it got in earphones.
Oh, yay. And I like the title.
Oh yeah. It's a really interesting book. So it's about three siblings, Dizzy, Miles, and Winton.
Dizzy, Miles, and Winton.
Yeah.
Does somebody like jazz trumpet?
Yes. You got it. Very good.
Well, Dizzy, Miles, and Winton. And they're played by, I'm sorry.
Caitlin Kinnunen, Michael Crouch, and Briggon Snow, respectively, and they're all living in this state of discomfort. See how I did that?
Mm-hmm.
Their winemaker father, who was a jazz fan, drove off and left them over a decade ago. And Julia Whalen actually plays their mother. And this is a young adult book that is really filled with magic.
Wow.
Each child has something special about them. So Dizzy is wrestling with changes in an important friendship, which we will hear in the sound clip. She actually sees smells in colors and she sees
Oh,
spirits.
wow.
And then we've got Miles. He is brainy and athletic and depressed, which sounds like a normal team. But he also is holding back the fact that he is gay. And he shares his
Mm.
thoughts and feelings with his dog, Sandro, who is also depressed.
Oh, I identify with that.
And then we have Winton, who's an amazing violinist with a drinking problem, so he's often in trouble. And into their lives returns Cassidy, played by Alex McKenna, and consequences of this stranger who's not quite a stranger unfold. Well, I think that's about all the plot I can give you, because
Mm.
it's so complicated and also deals with magic, and there's a lot for people to unpack. So I'll let you do that in the listen. I will say that the narrators, they really bring a youthful, unique sound and so much warmth to their performance. So as the magic of the book unfolds, you go with them. And it's very long work. It was over 17 hours. So there's plenty of time for characters to develop, and there's this atmosphere to be created. And, you bring up the jazz names. In fact, the words as written, I found were almost musical, and it feels like the narrators are
Mm.
kind of teasing out that sense of music and that poetry as if they were playing instruments themselves. So there is a lot of romance and longing as well, longing for their father, for their own love, for peace. So there's that sense of romance that you get often in young adult books.
Okay, let's hear some. Who are we going to hear from?
This is meeting Dizzy as she's dealing with the loss of her friend Lizard.
Okay. This is When the World Tips Over by Jandy Nelson. It's read by Michael Crouch, Alex McKenna, Briggon Snow, Julia Whalen, and Caitlin Kinkinnon. And that's who we'll be hearing from in this excerpt.
Anyway, all that morning of the telltale day of the first encounter, Dizzy sat in class and watched ex-best friend Lizard, now Tristan, stealthily texting with awful new girlfriend Melinda. Probably about all the spontaneous internal explosions they experienced when they kissed each other at the dance 3 weeks before. Dizzy had watched it happen, her throat knotting up as Lizard's hand reached behind Melinda's neck right before their lips met. Since that moment, Dizzy, a renowned motor mouth, hardly spoke at school, and when she did, she felt like her voice was coming out of her feet. But what was there for Dizzy to say anymore? Her mother had told her once that the great loves of one's life weren't necessarily romantic. Dizzy had thought she had 3 great loves already. Then, her best friend Lizard, her mom, Chef Mom, and her oldest brother, Winton, who was so awesome he gave off sparks.
First of all, this is really, really good writing.
Yes.
and a really good performance. She sounds young and just, I don't know, so fresh.
Exactly. And that's, why it got in earphones, because they all sound great.
It's When the World Tips Over by Jandy Nelson, read by Michael Crouch, Alex McKenna, Briggon Snow, Caitlin Kinkinnon, and Julia Whalen. Okay, excellent. Our theme of discomfort is actually unveiling some very interesting listens here.
You said it.
Thank you, Michele.
You're welcome.
Dreamscape, an award winning audiobook publisher, is the sponsor of today's episode of Behind the Mic. Dreamscape's catalog includes authors such as L.J. Shen, Frida McFadden, and Annie Ernaux. I'm Jo Reed. I'll talk to you tomorrow.